Understanding short sales. I'm Patrick Curie. I'm the Executive Director of Scottsdale Law Group. Please be advised that I am not an attorney, and this information is for informational purposes only and should not be deemed as legal advice. Some of the topics for discussion today will be short sales, the statistics, the SLG process chronology, and anti-deficiency and 1099 implications. What is a short sale? A short sale is the disposition of real property to a third-party buyer where the mortgage lender voluntarily releases its lien but does not necessarily cancel the promissory note debt. It's important to know here in Arizona we are one of 14 deed of trust states, and as such, debt when originated on real property defined as land or anything erected thereupon, the lender will institute two pieces of debt. One is the security instrument, which is recorded down at the recorder's office and evidences the lien on the subject property. The second is the promissory note, which is a written contract that talks about the terms and conditions of the loan, events of default, cure periods, rights and remedies. What are the statistics? Currently, there are 16,000 short sale listings in Maricopa and Pinal counties in ARMLS, 2,900 pending short sales, and last month 2,406 closings. Probably the most compelling numbers on this slide really refer to the difference between the short sale dollars per foot and the REO dollars per foot. And really this disparity between 69 and 80 shows the reason that most of the lenders are looking to process short sales as opposed to repossess collateral. One thing to note is that the REO property numbers of $69 do not take into consideration costs of repossession, costs of management, HOA dues, and other carrying costs that might be incurred through the REO cycle process. The Scottsdale Law Group chronology. Generally speaking, we will have an intake with the client where we will sit down and speak with them relative to all of the sort of pitfalls and challenges as it relates to the short sale process. When a client decides to engage the firm, they execute a retainer fee agreement, an authorization to release information, and a client certification. We send the client certification and authorizations over to the lender and also generate an automated valuation model along with other pertinent documents that are sent to the realtor that will be representing the seller. Some of those other pertinent documents would be including the BPO protocol, the addendum and additional instructions, and our realtor fee agreement. We also will author a qualified written request to the lenders disputing the debt. Once this first stage has been completed, the realtor will list the property for sale and begin marketing the property. In the meantime, Scottsdale Law Group will work with the client in order to assemble the requisite financial documents and prepare the file for submittal. We process the file and make it ready to go to the lender in anticipation of receipt of the residential purchase contract. Once we receive a residential purchase contract, we will forward the contract over to title for a HUD-1 settlement statement. We then submit the entire package to the lender. Generally speaking, we try to keep the offer with a net to the bank of 90% of the automated valuation model. And what we found is that most lenders, most servicers will have the ability to, or have delegated authority to, approve deals that are north of 90% of the 90-day price. File manager will continuously follow up with the lender as we navigate the process with the bank, and we'll make sure that we do what we can do to be sure that the BPO value that the bank will ascertain comes in as close to the offer value as possible. We work with the bank negotiator to obtain a settlement and approval letter, which is really the conveyance from the bank as it relates to the debt and the short sale. We review the settlement and approval letter for accuracy and release language, obtain sign-off from the client, thereby removing the contingency in the short sale addendum. The buyer schedules inspections, appraisals, and bank financing if applicable, and we help to coordinate and schedule the closing with all the associated parties. And then obviously there's a close of escrow. Here in Arizona, there are two ways that a lender can choose to foreclose on collateral. The most common is the non-judicial foreclosure, which is the execution of powers under the deed of trust to repossess collateral by a senior lien holder. The other is a judicial foreclosure, which is really a court action in which the lender will institute a summons and complaint with the aim of repossessing the collateral. We do not see many judicial foreclosures in residential properties, and we see more of them in commercial loans and commercial properties. Non-judicial foreclosures and the actions to recover a balance are covered under Arizona Revised Statute 33814G. And basically, in black letter law, it states that no deficiency is permitted if the property is sold at trustee sale, number 1, number 2, 2.5 acres or less, and number 3, limited to and utilized for either single one-family or single two-family dwelling. In a judicial foreclosure, action to recover a balance is covered under Arizona Revised Statute 33729A, and the criterion for a qualified property mirror that of a non-judicial foreclosure. General parameters. Anti-deficiency statute applies to investment properties. There is subsequent case law where the courts have found that since the statute does not specifically say that that it requires that the property be a principal residence, it does apply to all residential properties. What is purchase money? Purchase money is made as part of the same transaction in which the debtor purchases the land. See Levy D. Concini. Property improvement loans are not purchase money. It's important to understand that loans that are originated after the acquisition of the property, whether those funds were used for improvement of the property or not, are not considered purchase money. And refinance of purchase money retains its characteristic only if the original mortgage or deed of trust stays in place. Example 1, purchase money loan for single-family home on a quarter-acre lot. In a trustee sale, no deficiency is allowed. In a judicial foreclosure, no deficiency is allowed. In a short sale, a deficiency is allowed but must be negotiated out with the lender. Generally speaking, we see lenders when we are dealing with them on purchase money loans on qualified properties are generally pretty flexible in terms of negotiating settlements, because they understand that they don't have any rights and remedies after the foreclosure process. Example 2, purchase money loan on an empty lot or commercial building. In a trustee sale, a deficiency is allowed. In a judicial foreclosure, a deficiency is allowed. And in a short sale, a deficiency is allowed. Obviously, it can be negotiated. The reason that in example 2 is that an empty lot is clearly not a single-family residence or dual-family residence on 2.5 acres or less, and thereby not covered under the anti-deficiency statute. Example 3, purchase money loan with a HELOC or property improvement loan, junior deed of trust on a quarter-acre parcel with a single-family residence. The senior lien holder sells the property pursuant to the powers of trustee sale. In a trustee sale, the first lien holder cannot obtain a deficiency, but the junior lien holder can sue on the note and obtain a deficiency. In a judicial foreclosure, deficiency is allowed. In a short sale, deficiency is allowed. It's important to note that junior lenders can sue directly on a note and are not bound by the 90-day statute of limitations, because technically it is a suit on the note and not a deficiency lawsuit under the foreclosure statute. Example 4, purchase money note refinanced with a portion of it cashed out for property improvement loan, still only one note on the property. In a trustee sale, no deficiency would be allowed. In a judicial foreclosure, a deficiency would be allowed, and the lender would have the ability to bifurcate the portion that was cash out within that suit. In a short sale, a deficiency is allowed, but it is negotiated. The extent of the deficiency is still an open question, and we're not sure at this point whether the entire note would be subject to the deficiency or just the cash out portion. Investment properties and tax liability. The Mortgage Debt Relief Act of 2007 only applies to principal residences. It allows taxpayers to exclude income from the discharge of debt on their principal residence. Unlike anti-deficiency statute, the Mortgage Debt Relief Act does not apply to investment properties. Note that there is an exception if the debtor is insolvent and completes the insolvency worksheet and that is accepted by the IRS. The Mortgage Debt Relief Act does not apply to cash out portions of refinances unless the debtor is insolvent. We want to thank you for your time and invite you to contact Christy Collins at the number below. The office number here is 480-478-0709, or you may visit us on the web at www.scottsdalelawgroup.com. Thank you for your time.